Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel resistant.
Welcome back to another episode of the Earthworks Hub live podcast here every Sunday. Earthworks Hub is Australia's earth-moving industry platform. So no longer is it just a podcast, it's an actual industry earth-moving industry platform here for everyone. So what do? We help everyone in the earth-moving industry connect, learn, grow, and profit, make money. That's what we're here for. Every Sunday night, 8 p.m, you're going live with Ive. It's Sunday, the 15th of March, 2026, and I'm sinking. My chair is running out of gas. I've got the crappiest chair here. Look how low I've gone from when we first started. Let me fix my chair while I'm here. Okay, this is what happens when you buy cheap chairs. Get good furniture, that's all I can say. All right, so you're going live with Ive. Make sure you're sharing this live to everyone so that we can get as many people as possible on here. All the podcasts will be uploaded eventually to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple as a polished version. So tonight I'm actually recording this on Riverside and here on Instagram. So when it does come up on the YouTube and all that, it's going to be a nice, clean version, man. So there you go. Sam Max Constructions is saying go fund me for Ivan's chair. Yeah, I might need that. I'll tell you what, man. So yeah, that's another bit of advice. Don't go for the best looking chairs because they're not always the most proper ones or the best ones. Once again, it's going to be a massive night. I have a guest. So you've probably all seen that post already. I've got Mike DeBroda, hopefully I've said that right, from TerraQuip. He's going to join us tonight to talk about drilling equipment. So it's a topic that I don't know that much about. I've seen drilling rigs on site. I've moved spoil for them and that, but I've never actually understood how they work properly, what's involved. So I'm really keen to personally find out a bit more, and hopefully you guys will as well. Has anyone here used drilling equipment or in that field? That'd be actually something good to know. So if anyone on here has done some type of drilling, not talking about the regular auger drives on an excavator, these are proper drilling rigs. And what were you drilling? Let us know as we go through this. So before I let the guest on, which I know is keen to jump on, let's do the formalities. ADM Civil, how you going? Now, let me do a few shout outs. Prominent 03, ADM Civil, Caitlin Williamson, Mitchell Morgan, Sam Axe, who else? KC Earthworks, SD Fox Body, Drew, young Drew's here, how you going? Enviro, Hydro Seeding, how you going? Sin and Lin, is it? M. Attard, how are you, legend? TSA, Hawkesbury, Auto, man, here's Chris Angelopoulos. Speaking of drilling, there you go. Good to see you on here. All right, let's go. Major sponsors. Thank you very much to Melbourne Tractors / Breeze Vegas, Earth Moving Warehouse, Team C Cancella via Mulch Tech, Pro Screen Australia, Plastube, as usual, their tubes there, Construction Training Group, CR Kennedy. We announced last week. Thank you very much to them as well. So that's our major sponsors. You'll find them all on our website. If you want to learn more about all of them. Who else is on here? Al Harris. How you going, man? Lukey P. All these people joining. Love it, love it, love it. Let's do a quick shout out to all the other sponsors as well. So these are our industry sponsors. MOBA Australia, Network Finance, Diggerlid, Digger, Goddings, Record Time, Bare Earth Solutions, Komatsu, Stucky, EI Engineering, Hex Hire, More Global Logistics, and 10-Star Simulation. Whew, that's a mouthful, I'll tell you what. Good to see everyone on here. UDA Frank as well. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Just want to make an announcement since we talked about Hex Hire. Fowler and Sons, how you going, man? Good to see you on here. Hex Hire have asked me to announce something. So Hex Hire have a March special for all viewers. So for all viewers, you can save $100 on weekly hire rate across the 5-ton and 8-ton excavator range. So this applies to all new customers. Runs till the end of this month, so till the end of March. So get in touch with Hex Hire by phone or email and mention Earthworks Hub, and they'll give you $100 off on a weekly hire for a 5 or 8-ton excavator. There you go. So thank you to Hex Hire for that offer. You can click on their logo on the website if you want to go to their website and find out more. All right, let's do a quick recap of what's been happening, and then I will invite Mike on. Last week we had Steady from On Grade Civil, the Trim King, aka the Trim King. Steady was here, joined me live in the studio. We discussed his change from, excavation, from the excavation world to the track loader world, to getting a grader blade on his track loader, and then going into a bit of a niche. So his niche is the grader blade on the track loader. He's very well known for it. So we learned what it was like convincing customers to go and jump on his new, or use his services, the new system, how technology has helped him, so getting GPS and all that sort of stuff, and what the future holds. So there you go. That episode is releasing soon, so bear with me. I've been flat out this week, which you will hear why in a second, and I haven't had a chance to edit it yet, so I'll tell you, you'll know why in a second. Basically, the reason is I launched. Declan Gadgetano, how are you? He's saying hello. He's saying, Ivan, how you going? Yeah, good to see you. Jenna Troy created these for me. Does anyone remember that? How cool are these? All the coasters. He actually did a 3D print for me of a whole bunch of coasters. Thank you very much. Might have to do the new logo now, Jenna Troy. Yes, so I launched this week the employment section of Earthworks Hub. So you've probably seen those posts going out. It's for employers that are looking for an operator or have a position vacant, and for workers that are looking for work. So if you're someone that's available for work, make sure that you post yourself on there so that employers can find you. So list yourself as available for work. And on top of that, I also launched another 2 sections this week, which are the plant hire section. So we've launched a plant hire section, which means it's called plant hire and work leads, basically. So we always say that we're looking for work. There's a lot of little groups going around on Facebook and stuff like that. But I wanted to make it all on the Earthworks Hub website, so it's all in one place. So now, if you go to Earthworks Hub, along the top menu, you will see plant hire, employment, and then you'll see marketplace. So there's 3 that we've actually released. Plant hire is where you can list your machines available. So if you've got machines sitting idle, list them as available so that people can find you. And then I've also got a section there where if you need a machine, you can actually put post up for a machine required. So if you've got a project and you need a machine like a 5-tonner or a 20 or a dozer, you can go in, put in the details of the project, when it's going to start, how long for, and then people can have a look and they'll email you and contact you with their availability. So that's what it's all about, trying to make it so that we've all got continuous work. Yeah. Then I've got the marketplace, which we had launched a while back, but not properly. So now I've actually put in little different sections in there: machine size, machine type, a few more categories to make it a bit clearer, price, all that sort of stuff. So go and check out the marketplace so you can buy and sell items on there. So list your stuff on there for sale. At the moment, everything is free. I've put it all on for free at the moment so that you can all jump on and start using it until we start building it all up. Drew Excavations is saying, what would someone pay for 8-ton rubber pads, brand new in the plat, is it? Brand new in the box, maybe? I'm not sure, not too sure. But actually, if you go to the Earth Moving Warehouse website, go to them and you will see they've actually got them on there as well with pricing. So go check it out. All right, so that's what was new this week. Make sure you go to the website and check it out. Use it. That's what it's there for all of us to keep going with work and find employees as well. This Friday, don't forget, this coming Friday is our monthly member Toolbox talk for all the industry and business members. So we have these every month now, and there's basically a Toolbox talk about something that's happening in the field, or sometimes I'll get people on to talk about things. We'll do maybe a member highlight where a member can jump on and talk about their business and what's going on. Maybe some more panel stuff like we used to. So we're doing this now as a monthly Toolbox talk, and the topic's going to be for this Friday: managing fuel during this current period or during the crisis. So what you do to manage your fuel. I've got a few good points there that things we can do to try and save on fuel in this time. So the link for the Teams meeting has been sent to all the industry and business member chats. So make sure you go to the chat group to find the link for that meeting. It's going to be on Teams. So if you're going to use your phone, you'll have to download the Teams app. If you're going to use a computer, it's just on a browser. So yeah, for all members that are industry and business, make sure you go and check the chat group to get your link. What else? I posted a template this week for the members as well to use when they notify their customers of a temporary rate increase. due to the fuel crisis. So for anyone that wants to raise their prices, temporarily, because I think you might have to if the fuel keeps rising the way it is, you can use that template. I've posted it in the members section on our member site. So make sure you guys are using that to be able to tell your customers what your plan is. Yeah, ADMC was saying, how good's the price of diesel? Yeah, crazy, man. Business members. So if you're a contractor or owner, owner operator that wants to improve your systems, or you want to grow, or you want some sort of help to better manage that business, then you should join our business membership. So make sure you go check that out. Go to the members page on our website and you'll see some more info there, and join the rest of the guys. Some people are saying $2.70 a litre. In Mitchell Morgan saying up 14 cents tomorrow again. Well, there you go. So it'll be $3 soon. Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy times. So that's why it's important to be a member and come and come and join the Toolbox talk and be able to work out what we're going to do with this fuel situation. All right, that's about it for that stuff. DDT, make sure you come and see my stand. Guidings Kubota have just also given me some more stuff to give away. So we've got heaps of prizes for Diesel Dirt and Turf to give away with the prize, the spinning wheel. So I've got, look, Digger Lead as well, Guidings, all the sponsors are throwing some stuff in. So make sure you come and see me at the stand. I think we're going to be at stand L6 from memory. And then the Academy. We're starting off this Academy that I've been talking about for weeks now. We're going to have a few experts, I like to call them, experts in the industry that are going to run these sessions for us. So it's not going to be just me. So make sure you check the Academy section because we're going to be updating that very, very shortly. That's it. All right. I won't go to listing of the week. I'll leave all that. News around the country, we already know. Fuel, blah, blah, blah. Sasha's here. How you going? Good to see you. It's been a while. All right. Let's get Mike on. I'm just going to invite him and then we shall talk about drilling equipment. Here we go.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it. Guys, I present Mike DeBroda. Am I saying that right?
Very good. Spot on.
Yeah, spot on, man. From TerraQuip. So thank you very much for joining us. For all the people that aren't sure or haven't heard of TerraQuip and don't know much about drilling equipment, give us a bit of a rundown. What service you offer or what product?
Okay. So TerraQuip Drilling Equipment is a supplier of drilling and piling rigs. Anything from micro drilling, so 0 to 300 mil diameter, all the way from 350 up to 3 meters, 3.5 meters diameter. We literally got a rig model for every single hole diameter that you can possibly think for any sort of industry. And we're doing pumps as well. So we have four suppliers, four manufacturers that we represent exclusively in Australia and New Zealand. That's IMT for large diameter drilling. That's Marini for micro drilling, as I was saying, from 0 to 300 mil. And then concrete pumps, mainly for CFA. And then the computers that we install on our machines in case we want to give them a break, as we say.
Yeah. So do a bit of everything. So you're based in Sydney. Do you service like all of Australia?
Yeah. So we cover all Australia and New Zealand. As I was saying, we're the exclusive dealer for our manufacturers from overseas. Two of them, they're from Italy. Two of them, they're from Germany. And we basically work with all within Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. So your drilling equipment, are they the ones that you attach to like the excavator? Is that basically what it is?
That's right. So we've got drilling attachments that you can put to an excavator, which a lot of people like because they go like, oh, if I don't have drilling, at least I can use the excavator for a while and then go back to drilling. Yes, we do have those as well. Anything from that goes on like on a 4-ton excavator or that goes on like 50-ton excavator. And then we've got the full complete machines like drilling rigs, either anchoring rigs or large diameter, which is piling rigs.
Yeah.
Now, the ones that you're saying with the, we call that the pendulum drilling, or they call it the donkey dick, right? Because it's got that auger at the bottom with the transmission with a gearbox. That's a way of drilling piles as well, and you can for most of it if it's not too deep and if it's not too large of a diameter, up to let's say 3-4 meters, 5 meters, you're good. But once you go deeper than that, it becomes a problem. So then you need a specialized drilling rig. And of course, if you need a production as well, you need a proper piling rig, because just an excavator is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, yeah. But what actually made you get into like drilling technology? Like, what were you doing this sort of stuff before, or what sort of made you go into this business?
So I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, right? So about after working for Bosch before and Cat, I was looking for a different job. I was looking for a different challenge, let's say. And I found this job with another competitor of mine 15 years ago. And it said there, equipment for selling equipment for mining and exploration. And I was like, oh wow, mining, sign me up. Yeah, I heard there's good rates in mining. That's all I knew about it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I went to the interview and I found out it was mostly just construction in general, because our equipment, our drilling rigs, you can use them for anything in any construction. I don't know if you heard, but in Melbourne, apparently, in some areas, they actually use now piling rigs to drill where the coffins are gonna be installed, and they bury them vertically. Have you heard of that?
No, but it makes sense though, because you imagine how many more you can fit. Yeah.
That's right. It's the price of real estate, right? As cynical as that sounds, I'm sorry, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of true. But
Yeah.
they reckon it's got a symbolic purpose as well. I was talking about it in another episode of the podcast, where it actually says for the people that have been paraplegic, that have had a disability, they've been sitting in a wheelchair for all their life. They're trying to bury them vertically so they can stand up for eternity. So it's got a bit more nuance than that, right? But anyway, I'm going on a tangent here.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can apply this, you can use these machines in so many industries, right? And they've been such a good invention. If you look at it, like back in the 90s, there was a handful of people in Australia that had drilling and piling rigs. Now we're looking at about close to 1,300 drilling and piling rigs.
Wow.
So they're becoming more and more popular. The engineering goes goes deeper, and like they want piles that are stronger and deeper and wider. That's They're always increasing that. So obviously you need bigger equipment as well, which is good for us. We're not complaining, but just
Yeah.
saying the way it evolves, it's incredible.
Yeah. So I've seen or heard that there's some drilling rigs where while they're drilling, they can actually be pumping concrete in. Is that what you're talking about, the concrete pumps? So they can
Yeah.
actually
So
pump.
that's the CFA technology. So in piling, you got two main technology. You got the bore pile, as they call it, or Kelly bar drilling. Okay. Or in Europe, you'll notice they'll call it LDP, large diameter pile. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's continuous slide auger. Now, the main difference is with continuous slide auger technology, you drill in one go. You don't come out to discharge the auger. You drill all the way to the depth, and then you insert concrete with the help of a concrete pump. And then while you're extracting, you're also concreting it at the same time. And then the auger comes out, the pile is full of concrete. Obviously, you put your reo in, and that's your piling. In bore pile, it's called open bore, right? The open hole. Why? Because the drilling rig takes half a meter bites, or 0.3 meters, or zero 0.4 at a time, takes gradual bites until it gets to the depth. The
Yeah.
hole stays open, and then they dump the concrete there, either with the use of another concrete pump, if they use tremie pipe to fill it from the bottom up, or if literally, you'll notice a lot of the jobs, they just literally dump the concrete straight into the hole, and then they put their reinforcement, their reo, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the pile. So there's two main technologies, and it all depends on the ground that you got to drill, right? So in some cases, say for example in Western Sydney, you got a lot of shale, you've got a lot of good ground to drill. It's not that difficult to learn,
Yeah.
right? Depending on the area. I'm not trying to generalize before before my colleagues in the industry jump at my throats to say like, you said it's easy to drill. No.
Yeah.
It's easier, right? Let's put it this way. Whereas in Melbourne, for you guys, in Fitzroy or Brunswick, or what do I know, those areas where it's really hard basalt, you can't drill it in CFA. You got to drill it in bore pile. But places like Brighton, for example, or St Kilda, you can drill CFA, right? It's all beautiful sand. It kind of stays open as well, but it's still very, let's say, loose. So you're better off drilling in CFA.
Yeah,
Depends on the area.
yeah, yeah,
If I have to give you an example, I would say out of 1,300 rigs that we have in Australia at the moment, I think about 60% are bore pile and 40% are CFA. And of course, they're the ones that are actually, majority, they can be used for bore pile and CFA. Like our ILT machines, we call them multi-purpose.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure
Right.
how much I can actually advertise and how much I can talk about my products. But,
Yeah, that's it.
I don't
No.
want to,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
push.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Look, I mean, drilling in general, we've never really had a guest on to talk about that stuff. So, yeah, even if you're just talking about drilling in general, even that's still it's still good information, man. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, drilling is such a wide range. There's so many types of drilling, right? When I'm saying there's 1,300 drilling and piling rigs in Australia, I mean just piling rigs, Kelly and CFA. Then you've got soil investigation rigs, right? Which that's a totally different kind of drilling. Then you've got mineral exploration, right? Which they use in the mines. That's again totally different. Then you got anchoring in a construction in the civil industry, right? To secure all the walls of your basement, for instance, or
yeah,
to secure your piles that you put in. Um, then you've got transmission line drilling, right? To put up our infrastructure, for the transmission towers. And then you've got the mining shafts as well. There's just so many, right? It's such a broad field, and this is what's beautiful about it. You never stop learning, right? I've been in it for 15 years. Every single day, I learn something. That's
yeah.
and I'm being challenged. I'm being humbled by the by the industry.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's one of those industries, man. It's very, very broad. Moba Australia was just asking a question. Do you offer any factory fitted machine guidance like 2D or 3D with your equipment?
Um, no, not really. No. There are companies out there. I know there are companies out there that they supply their engineers to help you with that sort of stuff. But to be honest, the manufacturers that we work with, they're very, very busy with their own projects, and they barely can keep up with their own, production rather
Yeah.
than subcontracting their services to someone else.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, there you go. It wouldn't be an episode if you didn't ask anyway. Yeah, that's Moba. So I'm sure Moba will probably be in touch about some GPS systems.
No worries at all. It's you know what? It's very, very interesting how since I started from 15 years ago, you see, we used to have the piling contractors, the people that were specialized just in piling, right? So all sort of earthworks mob up there, any sort of civil and demolition company, they would call them and be like, "Hey, I need piling for this because I'm doing this whole package. Come and do it for me," right? And then the drilling contractor would come in and they will do just the piling themselves or just the anchoring.
Yep.
Now, that's a totally different world that we live in because a lot of the excavation guys, they started purchasing their own piling rigs. And they said, you know what, for the easy drilling, like I was saying earlier, for the easy drilling, we can drill it ourselves. We can actually price the whole thing. We can be in control of the whole project, right? So they started purchasing their own rigs. And then the piling contractors, they needed to be a lot more specialized in order to keep up with the industry, right? And take on majority of the jobs that are difficult. They just your regular contractor can't do. So it's very interesting. The how they're trying to expand, offer several other strings to their bows. In case they need to do it in order to be more competitive. I guess because things are getting tougher. I mean, as you were saying earlier, look what's happening at the diesel price, right? Because of all this stuff. Again, I think it's as pessimistic as it sounds. I think it's only going to get worse. So people are forced to think outside the box.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you say that. That's right, because there used to be just only a couple of major piling companies floating around, but now you see, yeah, even like you say, just average excavation businesses buying their own rigs, and I know a couple are watching as well. So they're probably having us smiling, saying, "Yeah, that's us." But I know a few guys that have done that, and that way they can offer a full package rather than just coming out and doing the bulk cut of the basement, for instance. They can do the whole package and offer, piling, concreting, and the whole lot. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's about adapting, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So what we've done at TerraQuip, and because you see, my career is actually divided exactly into 50% of the time I was working for someone as a sales engineer,
Yeah,
and then the last years I've actually started people started 8 years ago and started representing the guys that I was saying earlier for large diameter IMT, for anchoring Marini, for concrete pumps, the German from Klein's from Klein, and for computers, they're called G&H Computer from Germany. Anyway, so for me, I've helped a lot of the companies that have come across and they said, we're kind of interested in buying in purchasing a piling rig and starting our own piling division. And the amount of people we helped like this with my previous company as well as with this one, because it's not just about impiling. The machine is so important. The equipment is so important, right? But also the support that comes with it. So it's not just like, here's this whatever mobile phone, go and use it, you're good to go. No, it's about holding the client's hand and helping through the whole process, transport, setting up on site, commissioning, servicing, helping them with the strategy and the logistics on site, until they learn. Then operators, helping them and training, whatever, let's say, excavator operator they have. And then, you train them and you help them, you show them the controls and, you point them in the right direction, or to other experienced operators to get trained. So we helped a lot of the companies in this way. Plus, we were giving them the option I said, look, you're thinking about getting a piling rig. What we can do is, how about you try one, get it on rental. You don't have to make $1 million commitment, just get it for $2,000 a day or $3,000 a day. Try it, dip your toes in the water, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then if you want to purchase it, no problem. Come to me, I'll talk to you. And this is how we were able to, because IMT was not really a very popular brand in Australia. Not a lot of people knew about it. A lot of people knew about Bowers, Liebers, and so on, right? But then, we started in 2018. There were pretty much 0 IMTs in Australia, and now we're counting 41. So to change someone like, the conception from another brand that was here since 1984, since I was born, it was so hard, right? They're like, IMT? What the hell is IMT? I've never heard of this. Well, I was like, well, they have about 50 years in experience in the industry, and then they started looking, and this is the way we did it. I was like, look, just try it on, see how it goes. If you don't like it, no problem, give it back. It's not going to cost you much. You don't have to commit to the whole thing. But if it drills and it's making you money, you're buying it from me.
That's it. That's a good sales point. It is. Somebody, I just missed a question before. Someone asked if you do screw piling or offer screw pile stuff. Do you offer that equipment?
Yeah, so our equipment can be fitted with adapter for screw piles, but only the smaller machines because they have a huge amount of torque, and you will absolutely destroy your screw piles before they even get in the ground. So you gotta, we either have to derate the torque, but there's adapters to it. Absolutely, no problem.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk little bit about how the system actually works. So, for anyone that that wants to understand a bit more about how this equipment goes, explain how the drilling system actually works. So, when it's attached to the machine, is it run by hydraulics, or how does it actually work?
So drilling rigs, they're so interesting, right? And that's why I love them so much. They're my passion. Like, I love talking about them. That's why I started a podcast about drilling, because of drilling equipment. So the beautiful thing about it is they combine, the field of electrics, mechanics, hydraulics, electronics, software, pretty much like an excavator, right? But you see there are so many more moving parts compared to an excavator, right? You've got 3 winches. One of them is double actioning. You've got the tracks like an excavator as well. You have the mast movement. You got the tilt. You got the mast folding. You got several technologies, and just learning where everything goes, and then the tools, which are different depending on each, ground that you're drilling. So it becomes really, really complex and beautiful, in my opinion. Stressful too, but beautiful. So the way it works is literally, imagine just an excavator, right? But instead of your boom, you've got what we call a parallelogram, right? Which, actually, give me 2 seconds. I think this is much better if I just.
You're gonna
I'll show you this guy here.
Oh, look at this! I love it.
Can everyone see? All right. So
Yeah.
you got the base machine. Sorry, my Kelly bar. This is the Kelly bar. It's coming out a little bit. Sorry.
I love it.
So this is the base machine, right? The tracks. But then here you don't have the boom. You've got what we call a parallelogram. The parallelogram. Sorry about my messed up accent.
That's all right. Good.
Goes up and down, right? So as it goes up and down, it maintains the verticality, right? You can move closer to the tracks or away from the tracks, right? And the mast obviously like tilts. And then the Kelly bar, this is the mast that attaches to the parallelogram. And then the Kelly bar with the rotary turns and drives the Kelly bar into the ground. And the more you progress, the more you advance in the ground, the Kelly bar being telescopic, it advances, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you reach the desired depth.
That's really cool. I like that. That's good. You can't beat a physical what do you call it, explanation. I like that. I like that.
I hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. It actually makes a lot more sense now. So Dirtology is saying, does SVAB have any input into the? Oh, I've lost it. Hang on, it moved. SVAB have any input into the electronic control system? SVAB, do you have that or not?
SVAB, as in, I'm not sure what they mean by SVAB, but yes, look, you've got, you see, depending on the piling rig brand, we're 19 rig suppliers across Australia and New Zealand, right? I've literally got 19 with me, 18 competitors, right? Some rigs, they rely a lot more on software. It's all drill by wire, right? As they call it, like a PlayStation. Our machines are a lot more simple. They're still hydraulically over electrics, right? So they got they're pilot control, as we call them, right? This way you get the feedback. It's a little bit more old school. Some, there's different schools of us. Some people love them, some people hate them. It just depends. And then we've got the computers that I was saying that I also represent, which they can be installed on top of that to give you all the drilling parameters, your concrete volumes, your drilling times, your production, your efficiency, your verticality, your loads, all of these things. But the computer, no, to answer that particular question before, it doesn't actually influence the control of your machine.
Yeah, yeah. And then tactical terraforming is saying, does the excavator attachment have its own mast, or is it like an auger attachment? I think does he mean does it have like other flights attached to it, or can you change the flights? Is that what he means? I think I'm not sure. But he's saying
So there's I think that's what it means, but there's basically different drilling attachments that you can install to an excavator, right? You can install the one that has a complete mast and complete PLC. It's got its own remote control. So all you do is just connect the mast to the excavator with the help of mounting plate, okay, that just bolts on, and then you just position your excavator near the hole, and then your mast with the remote control, you can control the mast. So the excavator operator just jumps off, grabs the remote control from the mast attachment, and the mast attachment has its own PLC that moves all the controls: your feed, your rotation, the speed of your rotation, your percussion, your auxiliary winch, what have you.
Yeah. But you can also have some where you operate it from the cabin. Is that what you're saying as well? The pilot ones, or not?
So you can control it but that's basically just the pendulum drilling.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
there's also a drilling mast that you can use, because you can use this drilling mast for, let's not confuse this, the anchoring, which is small diameter drilling, micro drilling, and then there's large diameter, right? The ones that we offer are for small diameter. We don't actually offer the ones for large diameter drilling. It's not really, there's only one company that offers this. They're actually pretty good. I'm actually going to give them a shout. They're American made, Bayshore low drill.
Yeah.
So you just buy the entire attachment from them, or you tell them on what excavator you want to install it on, and then they'll just do it for you.
Yeah. What about horizontal drilling and like directional boring and all that stuff? Do you do any of that stuff?
Absolutely not. That's a totally different. That's what I mean, man. Drilling, it's incredible, right? So all of the horizontal drilling for cables and stuff like that, and tunnel boring, that's completely different fields. We've got absolutely we're not active at all in it. no
Yeah.
connection whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. And what about, so now if we connect these to like, real job uses, you mentioned before, like, you do anchor drilling and stuff like that. So what are the most common jobs that contractors are using your equipment for?
So on the micro drilling equipment, all the slope stabilizations, right? So all the roads that have gone away, on near the, let's say, slopes,
Yeah.
especially in Queensland or northern New South Wales or you name it. There's so many areas they've been affected by the recent floods, right? So as terrible as that sounds, it actually benefits us because a lot of the company benefits the drilling contractors because they get a lot of contracts. They need to remediate. Otherwise, there's no access, right? So you need to
Yeah.
secure it. It's not safe. They need to secure all those rocks. So that's one of the most popular we use. It's the skid mounted rigs. They're literally just mounted on a skid, and you've got these guys, that go up there with ropes and literally drill on the side of a cliff.
Wow. There you go,
That's
man.
that's that's in anchoring. And then when it comes to large diameter pile, the most popular I'd say is 450, 600, 750 diameter.
Yeah.
You can use them in any sort of ground to build the piles from a 2-level base car park to like transmission lines or bridges or um, roads, for example, highways. Any sort of foundation piles they need to build, piling rigs are the most efficient form, the most efficient piece of equipment that you can actually build those piles.
Yeah, yeah. And what about like ground conditions? I know we touched a little bit earlier. You were saying some areas like closer to the water, obviously going to be softer material and that. So, yeah, what types of ground conditions can your equipment handle best?
Any ground condition really. So if we really talk about like like really in depth, IMTs more specialized on a large diameter pile for harder materials. So they're a lot more robust because of the lack of electronics, because of that old school style of drilling. They're a lot more focused on hard materials, so basalt, granites, rhyolites, like Brisbane Tough. There's all of this really hard materials, Kelly bar drilling, but of course we have for CFA as well. And on my channel, there's actually a lot of equipment. There's a lot of video about IMT machines breaking records in both Kelly bar and CFA in terms of depth and diameter. So closer to, for example, if we talk about Melbourne, because you're from Melbourne, anything around the area of like St Kilda, Brighton, Elwood, all those places, you'll see kind of like small to medium piling rigs there, drilling in CFA all the time. At one point, there were 3 IMTs drilling, one next to the other, next to the water there. So, whereas a little bit more inland, Melbourne, you see, when it comes to CFA, Melbourne tends to be a little bit easier, but it's extremely hard when it comes to Kelly bar. Sydney, it's really hard if you have to drill CFA. It's really complicated, but a little bit easier if you need to drill in Kelly because
Yeah.
of the all the material that you got out west in Sydney, such as the only hard stuff is really just sandstone, but it's not really that hard compared to the Melbourne basalt. That's nothing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah. Because we've got some strong, tough granite and stuff like that. That I know is very, very tough, very hard to deal with. So even when you have a regular auger on the machine, it's very, very, very hard to get through. What about that? Speaking of augers, actually, so why are there any situations where drilling like with an auger would be better? Like I'm talking about like a traditional auger on a small excavator. Like, when would you use that, and when would you use a piling rig instead?
so as I was saying earlier, you can no problem at all. You can if number one, if you're not in a hurry, right, to finish, if you're on your own job and time is on your side, by all means, yeah. Also, if it's not too deep, right? If it's 3, 4, 5 meters, you kind of okay, with a 30-ton excavator or 25-ton excavator with an auger torque or what's the other guys? Digger, I
Yeah,
think they're called.
digger. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
You just gotta go and buy a gearbox, for whatever they are, 60 grand, 80 grand. I'm not sure what they cost, how much they cost these days. You buy an auger which is 10 grand. By the way, we're saying about augers. Augers are super important, right? When it comes to this piling rigs, the number one thing that's important is the auger, the tool. The second one is the operator. The third one is the machine.
Yeah.
But I would say number one by far is the drilling tool. A good drilling tool can make any operator and any machine look very good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's really important.
it's funny you say that because I watched a video a while back on augers, and Digger actually had a few good videos on using different types of augers. And you know, a lot of us contractors or smaller contractors will only have like one auger drill with the same tungsten teeth on it, and we use that for every job. And then, you know, you're there sitting there, someone's drilling the same hole for like hours, smoke coming out of it, trying to like keep going because that's all you've got. But then, yeah, I remember watching one of their videos and they were like, you got to have, you know, you've got to have a dedicated rock auger. You got to have all these other types that will make the job go a lot quicker. But a lot of us only have that one auger. So, yeah, I suppose that if you think about it, drilling, there's just so many aspects to it. It's not just the one 450 auger with tungsten teeth that we all have, you know.
That's absolutely, and that's a big, I guess, learning curve. You know, a big lesson for a lot of the my current clients. You know, they started, they started from civil and they moved to their own piling. They said, okay, I'm investing $1 million, I'm buying the machine, and then I'm good. But no, hold on, you need the different tools, right? You need the maintenance for it. You need the ropes. You
Yeah.
you need the logistics, the transport. You know, sometimes you can't because it's too heavy. You got to transport it until 9 o'clock in the morning, or like you guys know better than me. You know, all this,
Yeah.
let's say,
Yeah.
limitations around transport. So it becomes really complicated. And yeah, having different augers, because if you buy a good quality auger, Australian made, and I do recommend just buying Australian augers because they know our ground the best. um, I don't want to seem like I'm creating advertising, but there's one mob in Sydney that supplies all over Australia, and it is because he's got so much experience in it, and his tools are the best. If you're looking at one of those augers, that's like 10 grand, you know. So that's only one of them, and then you move to a different job where you've got slightly different machine, a slightly different soil. It's like no, you need you know a different type of tooth here.
Yeah.
You got to change the whole tool. That's
Yeah,
another
that's
10
true.
grand.
Yeah,
So it adds up, right?
it does add up. Yeah, yeah. Someone was mentioning core barrels before. Can the drilling equipment that you have also, can you put core barrels on them as well?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. So in the Melbourne basalt, don't waste your time trying to drill it with an auger. I mean, you can, but it's going to take a lot longer. You're going to destroy that auger. You're going to do a lot of hard facing. You're going to change a lot of teeth. Whereas with a core barrel, obviously you are minimizing. You're a lot sharper. You're a lot more focused, right? Your tool is a lot more focused on the ground, and you can penetrate a lot quicker. And then what you do is, as you progress with the core barrel, especially if you have very sharp teeth and very skinny teeth, say for example like a 19 mil shaft, those are very aggressive, right? So they penetrate and they advance, and then you literally pull up. We call them puppies in drilling. They're
Yeah.
literally like just this barrels, these cylinders of beautiful like polished rock. Because by the time the tooth just goes and grinds, it just pulls out this beautiful Roman columns.
Yeah, that's it. You can sell them. You can sell them later. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of people. They sold them and they made beautiful tables out of them. They look fantastic.
Oh, there you go, man. Yeah, I've used a core barrel a couple of times. Oh man, we did one job. We had to do a whole bunch of light poles for a park, and we had to do a light pole every like so many meters along this walking path. And we quoted the job, and then when we first started to drill, the first hole already was instantly just rock. And we were like, oh no. So we had to go and hire a core barrel. And every hole, there was over 100 holes, all core barrel, man. That killed me. Absolutely killed me, yeah.
Hey,
So,
just you went through it, right? You actually did
yeah.
drill it, right?
Yeah, man. But it took
Okay,
so
well,
long.
just the fact that you went through it, that's fantastic. Like, hats off to
Yeah.
you. That's really good. Because a lot of the people, that's when they get stuck. That's when they panic and they go like, okay, we need to bring a proper piling rig here. There's no other
Yeah.
chance we can do it.
Yeah, we persisted with my what machine do we have? The 5 tonner. It was a 5 ton excavator, and just
Oh wow,
a
okay.
core barrel, and we just persisted, man. But yeah, it was so, and the light poles had to be in a certain distance, so we had to keep going until we got it. Oh man, it was crazy. So yes, yeah, right augers or right tools for the right job. Definitely, it's not just get yourself one auger and that's it. Yeah,
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it can be it can be very very stressful. It's very complicated. To have all the right tools, and then what do you buy first? Do you buy a brand new machine, or do you buy a second-hand machine first? So all of these things, I've actually, what I've done for the industry, and what I've done for my client, and for the people that wanted to get into the industry, I've actually done a lot of episodes and a lot of videos on my channel where I'm explaining, what is a piling rig, what's the difference between a used rig and a brand new rig, right? How do you calculate, how you evaluate the price of a used piling rig, and what do you take in consideration, and what's the formula? Because we actually have a formula that we use, right? We
yeah,
do evaluations all the time. And then how to transport a piling rig, how to maintain a piling rig. We've done all of this episode. We're trying to, because you see, our industry, I feel like it's been guarding the information really, really strictly. You can't they Pilots don't really want to talk too much about their game, right? They
it's a
know they're
niche.
exclusive.
It's a niche.
They know
Yeah,
there is niche, right? It's they're not 50,000 excavators in Australia. There's only like 1,300 piling rigs. So
yeah,
it's a lot more specialized. And I was like, why not? Let's give the information. Because a lot of the people that were saying, like, you're even telling people how to service your piling rigs rather than you doing the service. I mean, I've got 5 technicians, and I go, it doesn't matter if I give the information for free. Let them do it. If they do it well, that's all I care about. If I can save them money and I can be more efficient, I can focus my energy on something else. Money will come. That's not a problem. I'm not
yeah,
shooting myself in the foot. You know, that was
yeah,
one of the conceptions, that I had to go against.
yeah. Yeah, it would be hard, man. Would be. So you sell the actual. So actually, I didn't really even probably clarify that. So you actually sell the. Do you sell the actual drilling, the whole drilling rigs as well, or just the components?
The whole drilling rig, the whole pump, either just the mass attachments. The only thing that I don't sell are the tools, because I send everybody to this manufacturer here in Sydney, and I just say, look, speak to him. There's no need for me to get involved with tools. But anything to do with machinery, we buy them. We import them from Italy. We sell them. We buy them back. We supply servicing, spare parts for them, and not only for the brands that we represent. Right? I think what sets us apart is the fact that while we are an exclusive dealer when it comes to servicing machinery, we're allowed to work with any other brand as
Ah,
long as the client wants us to help them. We have the knowledge, we have the expertise, to help them and to fix their issues.
yeah, yeah. Ideology asking, is that Boss attachments for the tools? Is that do you use Boss? No.
So Boss Attachment is actually an interesting one, because they've been doing attachments for ages, and I actually know Livio. He's funny enough, I even in one weird form, I actually worked with him years and years ago, and now he's actually become the dealer for HPM, which is another competitor. It's kind of like a new brand. They left from INT a while back. The guy, the founder, used to work at INT.
Yeah,
And now Livio is actually they tried to find a dealer for the last 3 years or something since they came to Australia, and HPM is actually representing them. So Boss Attachments, they were known for, and they're a fantastic company, really, really good marketing and everything. They were doing a lot of attachments, anything to do it, but not piling rigs. Now they actually started doing piling rigs as well, which is funny enough.
there you go. Everything. Yeah, yeah. No, there you go. Well, let's look at it from an operator's perspective. So we'll see what the operator experience is. So, from an operator's perspective, how difficult is it to learn to use these drilling rigs and stuff?
So to learn the controls of a piling rig, 20 minutes, but to learn to be an operator, years, right? So I I'm an operator, but I'm not really an operator. I'm a lever puller, right?
Yeah,
I know how to pull levers, but to become an actually experienced operator, it takes years and years, to feel the ground, to have because you see, an operator is not, as I was saying earlier, first is the tool, second is the operator. If you've got a good operator and a good tool, he'll make any machine look fantastic. There's so many factors at play. There's, the the collaboration with the other trades on the ground. There's the logistics of the site. There's where you place the cages, where how you book, especially in CFA, you got to book your concrete. As soon as you reach the depth, you got to have your concrete ready to go, the concrete truck. And I don't know if you know the traffic in Sydney or in any of the major cities in Australia. It's terrible. So you got to plan it in such a way, and it's such a coordination effort in order to get these guys to be in the in the process. Yeah. So the operator is really important. It takes years for him to learn. But I would say if he's got a knack for it, if he's and he's passionate about it, I reckon he can learn in like 2 years. He can be a decent operator in 2 years.
There you go. There you go.
And then let's not forget that a good operator also understands the mechanics of the machine, the daily maintenance, right? And how to deal with it. We have operators that, for 3,000 hours, we never touched that machine except the regular servicing. We never touched it. And then we had operators that after 200 hours, they destroyed the machine. We had to do a major intervention on it. Oh, it's a shit machine. I was like, well, I don't know if it's really a shit machine, but, we have different examples out there.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm just gonna do something here. Yeah, well, that's true because a lot of people. It's just like excavators. People, it takes a while to learn to use it properly, and also you've got guys that, like you say, that might be in the machine for the same amount of hours, and the machine's destroyed compared to one that still looks brand new. So yeah, you got both. When it comes to what about torque and downforce, like knowing what speed to run the drills, like I suppose they're the hardest bits to learn, isn't it?
Yeah, as I said earlier, there's everything. There's the logistics. There's even before you get into a piling rig, you got the planning happening, right? Where are you going to start? In which corner? Who's going to create the benching for you to sit on, right? The platform. Have you got the platform? What sort of platform do you need, right? Depending on the weight. So there's so many factors at play, right? An experienced operator would have all of that down pat, right? So when you talk about torque, usually, especially our machines, our IMT machines, their models actually represent the torque. So we have IMT 45. 45 is the kilonewton meters torque. So that's 4.5. Basically, the conversion to tons is 4.5 tons of torque per meter. Then you have the A75, that's 75. Then A95, 140, and then that's a 40-ton class machine. And then you've got the A215, which is a 60-ton class overall weight machine. So for a 60-ton machine, you'll have anywhere between 200 and 250 kilonewton meters torque.
Wow.
Which means 20 tons of torque per meter, between 20 and 25 tons of torque per meter. Whereas for an A45, for example, the overall weight sits at about 17 tons, and the actual torque is 4.5 tons. So what you got to do, you kind of like divide it by 3. That's the general rule of thumb on a good quality, good production machine, European made, say Italy or Germany. It's let's say a 100-ton machine. For a 100-ton machine, you kind of want a third of that to be the torque. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope I'm explaining.
Yeah, no,
I hope it's not too nerdy.
No, that's good, man. That's good. Some of the guys are asking, is there like a GPS guided system or something that will guide you for the depth, so you know when you've gone too deep, or it'll do it by itself or stop at a certain level?
Correct. So the computers that I was talking about earlier, the GNH computers, that's what they're for. They're there to tell you the depth that you reach, to set your target depth, the inclination, to make sure that the inclination stays between 0, at a maximum 0.2 mil, 2 mil at, let's say, if your depth is 10 meters, you can't go more than 3 mil deviation, right? They got to be bang on. They measure your concrete volumes. They measure your drilling time, how many piles a day you drill. But for an actual like GPS positioning system, it hasn't really been perfected just yet. There are some systems out there that are trying to do this, but they're not predominantly used in Australia, not yet. Where you can just load the plan, and the operator just sees on a computer and goes like, okay, this is my number 1 pile, this is number 2, number 3, and then so on. No, I haven't seen it yet. at least.
I-
I don't know
I'll
if
tell
they
you
do it or
what,
not.
that would be it would be a good idea. Actually, probably could be something for the future. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I suppose as long as you've got some limiters that tell you the height, the depth, the GPS can know how deep the actual drill's going. So, oh, there
So
you go,
how
man.
deep it's not a problem because you can measure out from our main winch. That's
Ah,
not the
yeah,
problem. The
it's the
problem is
position.
the
Yeah,
actual position, right? And why? Because the way you have to do it is you have to use what's called triangulation. You got to have a GPS, like an actual GPS, but not the kind of GPS that you have in your phone because that's like plus minus 3-4 meters.
yeah,
You need another base to create triangulation with a satellite in order to tell you the exact position to be within, 3 mil of tolerance. Some
yeah.
job sites don't even allow that. So
Oh, that's pretty tight. Yeah, yeah. Oh, there you go, man. There you go. All right, let's talk a little bit about safety then. So, what are some of the biggest safety considerations when it comes to operating drilling equipment?
there's too many to talk about, right? I mean, you've got these pieces of machinery, that sit 20 meters up in the air. Just the cat head alone, we call this the cat head. It's a piece that weighs close to a ton, 700 kilos, right? So the liability is huge when it comes to piling, right? There's certain processes that you need to, and certain tasks of the daily maintenance that you gotta tick off the list. And us as piling suppliers, as a piling rig supplier and service provider to these machines, we got very, very strict guidance as to what gets checked with photos every single time. You got to have proof, right? With every single bolt, you got to mark them, try them once, mark them again, and then do it the third time. Because if you got one of these bolts, which is like 300 grams, it's going to fall from 15 meters, that's going to go through your hard hat. I don't care if you got a hard hat, that's going to go through it and it's going to
Yeah,
kill you.
yeah,
And we have had so many unfortunate accidents. I'm not going to talk about it right now. It's too depressing. But yeah, we've had a lot of crazy accidents that have happened in the industry, and hopefully not for nothing because they made our industry safer. They taught us a lot of things, especially because you don't have just the piling ring itself, right? The piling ring also has what we call the auxiliary line, which is sorry on this one, my auxiliary line. So it's supposed to be this one right here.
yeah, yeah,
The auxiliary line is kind of like stuck in there, right? But it normally it's a we call it a service line, and it acts like a crane. Well, a piling rig you can't really use as a crane because it's not a crane. You can use it to help you with your tool or with your cage, but that's pretty much it. Because you can't incline more than 5 degrees left, 5 degrees right. In some cases, even just 3 degrees.
yeah,
So the platform again is very, very important. So what the tracks sit on, I don't know if you can see it.
yep,
You have to calculate the ground bearing pressures. So every single proper job site, they'll ask you, what ground bearing pressures do you need for a 40-ton class machine? Well, I need 250 kPa or 180 kPa, depending on how wide your tracks are, right? So obviously, wider tracks and wider grousers, there's a lot less force distributed, right? Sorry, there's a lot more force distributed because it's
yeah,
a wider area. So then your platform maybe doesn't need to be as strong. But you're drilling sand in the eastern suburbs in Sydney. I mean, those guys are absolute champions. They drill there in the sand without platforms, and you kind of go like, "Oh my god, how come they never tip the rigs?" Well,
yeah,
because they feel the machine, right?
yeah,
But the proper way would be that you do need proper plates, to sit on 25 mil plates, because when they tip, it's bad.
yeah. Well, someone was just asking that before. Yeah, have you ever had them tip over in that? So they must tip over. Yeah, yeah,
We
happens.
did. We did.
Yeah,
Never happened to me personally.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But it
I've,
happens.
I,
Yeah,
yeah, but it has happened. I can count about since I started, I'd say about 12 cases that I know of.
wow.
Obviously,
Yeah,
sometimes it can happen, and then they're trying to like cover it up really quickly
yeah,
because it can
yeah,
be a very litigious thing, right? So they're trying to get rid of it. It's like, no, it never happened. It's fine. Don't worry about the
yeah.
mast. It's a bit bent, but it's good.
It's all good. Just keep going. Don't worry. Yeah.
Just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it must be hard though, because like you say, everything has to be 100% tightened and double checked, because these, when they get transported, they don't get transported in one shot, isn't it? So they'll have the mast on one truck, then the machine on another truck. Is that right? They split them up?
So up to 40 tons. So if the working condition of a machine is up to, let's say, 40 tons or thereabout, 41, 42, whatever, you can generally transport it. And if your height is under of the machine packed down, so when it's packed down like this, right?
Yeah.
If your height is less than 3.5 meters, then you're good, right? Or thereabout, 3.6, 3.5, right? Depending on the state. Like, again, different state, different rules. But I talk
Yeah.
in generally. So 40-ton class overall weight, height, let's say about 3.5 meters. If you're under that, you can transport it in one piece, right? So as soon as you get on the job site, you take it off the float, and then you literally just stand up the mast. You put your tool, which mine is already attached here, but you put your tool and
Yeah.
you start drilling. But when you talk about machines that are like, 60 tons or 70 ton or 80 ton and so on, sometimes you got to take the counterweight off. This thing goes
Yeah.
up. The Kelly bar gets taken off. Sometimes the rotary as well. It literally just depends on your on the state limitations of the area where you're transporting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they I've seen a couple like that floating around. Yeah, it was just the mast or just some pieces, and I'm like, oh well, that must be massive. I like that toy, by the way. Hint, hint. I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but I like that. I like that. I like that toy. It would look really good on this shelf over here.
Hey, look, that's an old name, right? Because I don't want to, but I'll show you another one.
Oh, here we go. That would look good, yeah, with all my other toys.
There you
over
go.
there.
We give a shout to these guys. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
the name, but it's
Yeah.
whoever knows what LV20 is. That's
Oh.
advertising, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see it here. I'm gonna show like this. There you go. That's a German brand.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like that. Isn't it? But just a hint anyway. No, yeah.
You don't want to know how many I've got here.
Oh man, just like me, I got a bloody whole shelf full behind me. Oh,
My guys always come to my office or the clients and go like, "Do you do anything else besides playing with these toys?"
Yeah, we're like little
It's like,
kids.
no, man.
Yeah, tactical terraforming saying I've even got the perfect spot. Look, there's a perfect empty spot up there. Yeah, there you go.
All right. I'll make sure I'll make it happen. I'll add it on my list.
That's it, man. That's it. No, awesome, man. No, that's good. And then maintenance. We touched a little bit on maintenance already. What's like the main maintenance required with these machines or with the whole drilling rigs?
So very similar to you guys with excavators. Every 250 hours, right? The first 250 hours is a major service happening. You got to change pretty much all the filters, except the ones that are like made out of metal, which you just take out, you clean with a bit of brake cleaner or whatever, or you blow them out, and then you replace them. Of course, not the hydraulic oil. So you're not going to replace on a 60-ton machine. We've got roughly I'd say about a ton, about 1,000 liters of hydraulic oil. Right.
And it's not cheap either. Yeah.
It's not cheap, right? And I'll tell you a little funny story that happened to us when right when I left from the previous manufacturer that I used to work with, and I started my own company. The first IMT machine that came to Australia, I was there because I started with my dad. Right, my dad was on technical, I was on sales. So actually, that was another factor why I started. I should have given him a shout out to my dad, John. I was like, look, I'm going to start this, but you got to come and help me, right? I need an engineer to help me because I'm more on sales side of things. I'm more on commercial, right? I know how to operate them. I know how to fix them, but I need your help. So God bless him. He came and helped me. And yeah, he's still with me today. He's one of my technicians. He's fantastic. But anyway, cut a long story short, back to the hydraulic oil. What happened was I was trying to refuel the machine, right? With diesel. And the equivalent machine for the company that I was working before for 7 years, which I knew very well, had the hydraulic tank and the diesel tank the opposite way compared to my machine that came out of Italy. And John, my dad, was like, before you refuel it, maybe we should read the manual, because there was no stickers, there was nothing, right? And I was like, no, I've worked for these guys, for 7 years. I know them really well. I know piling. Don't tell me about piling, I was, in a hurry to get things done and, keep putting, diesel in the tank, but the gauge was still 1%, 2%, 3%. And I was like, why is it not increasing? Kept adding more, and then it started overflowing. It started like piecing down oil. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? That was not the diesel tank. It was the opposite location from the previous rig that I was working with.
Oh no.
And it just so happens that the actual diesel tank cap on the machine that we supply now was made is made out of plastic, whereas the hydraulic tank is made out of chrome. On the other rig was exactly the opposite again.
Oh no.
So I was 100% convinced that that's it. That's the hydraulic tank. That's
Yeah.
that's the diesel tank. So I
Yeah.
ended up putting the diesel in the hydraulic tank. Now, thankfully, I've learned a bit about the chemistry of it. It's still a mineral oil, right? Speaking of oil prices going up,
Yeah.
but of course it's not healthy. So we had to do 2 flushes. We had to take every cylinder, we had to take the rotary out from the rotary, from the hydraulic motors, from the tilting cylinders, from the boom cylinders, from the tracks.
That is a
We
big job.
spent, just on oil, we spent close to 20 grand back then. It was
Oh
a
man.
very, very expensive exercise to start with,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Oh,
I
man.
almost threw in the towel and I was like, it was such a bad idea to start my own business. Why the freak did I do this? I should
Yeah.
have never done this.
Yeah, that could have broken a lot of people. That would have broken them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Oh, I was very close to. I was crying for 2 days. Like I was just like, how can I be so stupid and so ignorant? But you see, you think you've got experience in something, you know. You always need to like take a step back, especially when you're working with this thing, because you mentioned about safety. Thankfully, it was just hydraulic oil. But imagine if it would have been someone else that could have hurt someone or could have hurt my
Yes.
dad, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Oh man, lesson learned. Lesson learned. Yeah, definitely big lesson. Big lesson.
look, we don't have time right now, but I've got so many lessons, you know, that I can run through.
Oh no, that's crazy. No, I'm
I've
sure
been
we've all...
punched so many times. It's not even funny.
Really? Oh,
Punched as in like by life, by the business,
yeah.
like
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I
no,
got you, I
not
got
like
you.
yeah.
No, not real punches.
No,
Yeah, I know.
thankfully never. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, and that's another, another liquid gold. Yeah, diesel and hydraulic oil, both liquid gold. Yeah.
He's like, I bet diesel was the third of the price back then.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't care about the diesel back then. I cared about the oil. That's the one that I did 2 flashes.
That's it, man. Yeah, now you'll be really crying if you poured diesel in the wrong tank and then couldn't use it again. That would be a nightmare right now. Exactly.
Oh man, I'll distill the fucking thing right now. I'll just put it back in.
Yeah. Oh man, it is. It's crazy, crazy times, man. With all this diesel stuff going on. And then what about, what's the future, man? What does the future hold for drilling equipment? Where do you see it going? And is it going to expand? Do you think more people are going to get into it? Is there going to be some changes that we might see coming? What do you think?
Wow, that's such a big question, Ivan. Wow, where do I begin? I mean, um, let's take it step by step. So, number one, drilling and piling rigs, yes, they are expanding, right? More and more people they are interested at doing their own piling, if the drilling is easy enough. Again, I repeat, if it's easy enough, if the ground allows you to it, right? Because the ground can be extremely tough. I mean, you don't know what's happening in the ground, right? And we say in drilling that we bury our mistakes, and we
Yeah.
do, right? So a lot of people, I think they'll continue. A lot of the civil companies, they'll think, okay, you know what, this is a good way to save money for the future. We're gonna buy our own piling rig, whether it's a 16 tonner or a 20 tonner or whatever, a second-hand rig to start with, which a lot of the companies start with. I think they'll continue to do this, provided that the economy kind of like moves in this direction, like the actual, I guess, building. Because now you don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, look at, Middle East. It's a very serious situation there. And of course, we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about the construction industry and our field. But it's going to influence a lot, I think. The future, I mean, the short time, in the short term, I think we're going to see price increases. I'll give you an example in terms of prices. I used to sell a 40-ton class machine for about $650,000 when I started in 2018, when I started Contractors. Now, the same 40-ton class machine now is sitting at about $1.15, $1.2 million, depending on the exchange rate. So the price of piling rigs has gone up dramatically, and it'll continue to go up, considering all this that's happening in Middle East with shipping. So a lot of the shipping lines, they have to reroute or they get stuck. right? The price of shipping going up. So, and it's the same with the price of shipping, right? So in 2018, I brought over from Italy a 40-ton class machine for approximately $25,000-$30,000. Now it's 50,000 euro,
Oh,
right? So
euro.
you look at
Oh,
about $80,000,
yeah.
$70,000 for a 40-ton class machine.
Wow.
I actually had a client call me the other day that buys only German machines, and he said, "What, you bring machines over from Europe? Look how much these guys wanted to quote me for to bring a machine over." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a 120-ton machine. That's about 150,000. Yeah, easily, absolutely. They're not taking the piss. That's what the price is.
Wow.
So the price will
From-
go up, and I think the price of the second-hand machinery is going to continue to go up as well. I think there's a possibility that a rental is going to become a lot more prevalent because people that have them, they'll be like, you know what, we don't have work for them. How about we just rent them? Because the repayments come in, right? And they have, whether they have fixed interest rate or variable, I don't know, but it looks like the interest rates are also going up. So
Yeah.
then for them to make their repayments, they'll need to hire them off, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing we've done at TerraCreep. As the time progressed and we could afford to actually buy our own piling rigs, we put a few machines in the fleet to help us with sales, number one, and for the people to actually know our machines. And of course, why not to help with revenue as well? I mean, it's another income stream rather
Yeah.
than just selling and waiting for those machines, to sell, for these machines to sell.
Yeah. And then people can hire them, like you say, hire before you buy or try before you buy as well.
Try before you buy, absolutely, and
Yeah.
kind of like test the water, see how it goes. And then
Yeah.
in terms of technology, I mean, engineering has reached, I think, kind of like a plateau in our field. Um, uh, Sensors and software and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, we're there's literally two brands which are absolute legends in that, champions when it comes to software. There's Bowers and Liebers. They're
Yeah.
absolute Rolls Royce, when it comes to computers, and they show you like the inclination and the pressures and auto drilling and all that sort of stuff, right? Which is fantastic. That's what you need, and that's what you're into. No problem at all. As I said, IMT, they're more for remote areas where you're not drilling in the city, more hard rock, more simple. We believe that the more simple they are, there's not as many things that could go wrong with them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I was thinking of something a bit earlier. So, like, for example, I've drilled a lot of pier holes for like waffle slab, the concrete slabs that they do here. A lot of them in Melbourne, actually. So you might have like to drill, 20 or 30 pier holes at like 2 meters deep, and we just usually you'll see a 5-ton machine floating around with an auger. Do
So
you
what
think that
diameter? What diameter?
like a 450 usually 450?
450. Okay, yeah, yeah.
And usually you'll see a lot of 5, or maybe sometimes 8-ton excavators with the regular auger drives floating around in these newer states, and they're doing that flat out all day. Do you think there'd be any advantage in actually getting a small piling rig to do that, and then maybe have a machine floating behind it to clear all the spoil away? Like, would that
Abs-
be any quicker?
Absolutely. I mean, a 17-ton machine, which is kind of like the same footprint as, or even less than, how much you say, 4 or 5-ton excavator?
Yeah, 5 ton to eight
Well,
ton. Yeah, usually, yeah.
yeah, with a pendulum, right?
No, they usually just have the normal excavator at the moment. So everyone just says a normal excavator with a just an auger drive on the hitch.
Yeah,
The
with a
450.
pendulum.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. I
Oh,
call
yeah,
it a
sorry,
pendulum.
pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, the regular, yeah, that thing. But so,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, man. Because you see, think about it, right? With a piling rig, you're sitting with all that weight, right, very close to the cab. So the footprint becomes smaller, right? But you can also push with a lot more weight on that tool, the crowd
yes,
force, because you're saying earlier about the crowd force. You can push with like pretty much the weight of the rig almost, right?
yes,
Whereas with a pendulum, because you've got the deeper arm, you got the arm in front of it, right? You know, if you try to move my hand here, you can do whatever you want with it. But if you try to move my hand from here,
it's so
you
stronger.
can't do
Yeah,
much with it, right?
yeah,
So to answer your question, yeah, I think there's straighter piles, and there's been more production. Is it going to be significantly more production that is going to justify bringing a piling rig that is going to cost you, $2,000 a day? I don't know. That's for you guys to test.
no,
Um,
Yeah.
Again, if time is on your side, absolutely do it. It's much cheaper to do it with an auger torque for sure.
Yeah, because the other thing is too, the drilling rig will drill. The spoil will just come out from around the drill. Then the drill has to come out, move back, and then someone takes the material away with a machine. Is that with an excavator? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
you got.
still
I
got.
mean, you're taking the spoil out. You got to move it somewhere. You got to get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, and then tactical terraforming. You're saying what ground PSI is putting out? Is it putting out for a small machine, maybe 14 ton, etc.
So,
Yeah,
my friend PSI, I'll have to do the conversion because I don't know from the top of my head the
yeah,
PSI, but I can tell you KPA if that helps.
yeah,
So for a 14-ton machine, KPA, I'd say about 80 KPA. Yeah, something like that, up to 100, something like
yeah.
that.
All right, there you go.
Because we've got
All right.
expandable tracks. I hope that answers your question. We've got expandable tracks. The growsers are like 300 mil, and that's for not 14 ton, but 16 and a half ton machine. So almost close to what you said.
Yeah,
But usually for that size, that sort of size, they don't usually care about the platform. They're not really into it unless it's a massive tier one project for transport of New South Wales.
yeah.
Chances are they're not gonna they're not gonna care.
Yeah, true, true. All right. So, if a contractor that's listening tonight is curious about drilling or maybe getting their own drill, what's the first step they should take to getting started?
Honestly, I'm more than happy to talk to anyone, and share my experience. But everything is online. We make sure, as I said earlier, that we put so much information online, and people can do research and they can find hours and hours of episodes with me talking and explaining, and catalogs and manuals and procedures and things like that. There's a lot of information out there, and if they need a bit of guidance on where to find them rather than just searching through YouTube or our website or whatever, I'm more than happy to share with them. They can just hit me out. terraquip.com.au.
All right. Terracrypt.com.au. Beautiful. And on social media as well. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah. All right. Excellent, man. Excellent. Well, that's it. That was going to be my next thing, just to say, yeah, what's the best way to get in touch? But there you go. So, Terraquip on Instagram. And also, yeah. So, what was it? Terraquip.com.au or .com?
.com.au, yeah.
Yeah, .com.au. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
It's actually good because we finally updated our website, because for 5 years we didn't bloody update our website because the
Yeah.
previous website was still under control of my ex-wife.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
finally got it back.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, well, now at least you've got one. Yes, that's right. I've become a bit of a website designer myself. I've been doing a lot of work on my own one. So if you ever need any assistance, I can help. Yeah. There you go, man.
Thank you, Ivan. That's very nice. I
That's it,
usually leave
man.
that to the guys to deal with them.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy, man. I'll tell you, I actually underestimated how much work goes into web design and all that stuff in the background.
Oh, it's massive.
SEO, getting
It's
pages
huge.
made, and that. I know I've diverted, sorry guys, but yeah, I've been working on it a lot, and I've discovered a lot of things, man. I never thought it was that involved. Anyway,
So I was just touching base on what you were mentioning earlier with your website. I was while you're doing the intro, I was trying to create an account there on Earthworks Hub to
yeah,
to place my equipment that we have available. Why not? So
yeah,
for the
exactly, good.
listeners, for your listeners, if they want to see it, we're definitely gonna post there. I'll make sure my guys post there tomorrow. Everything we have for rental, for sale. Well, everything that we have for sale is also for rental,
Yeah.
because that's, we like to give people the chance to try, whether it's an anchoring rig, a pump, or a piling rig.
Awesome. Beautiful. Excellent. There you go. All right. No, cool, cool. Well, that's good. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and telling us. I've learned personally a lot about drilling equipment. Like I said, it's not something I've been around too much. Like I used to go in, dig all the basements and that, but a lot of times the capping beams and the piling's already done when we get there, or we've done the cut and then left, and then they've come in and done it, so we don't see it. And then even when we go away,
It happens magically, man.
magically, yeah, they do the anchoring and all that while we're gone. I never see anything. I just come back and it's done. So yeah, so it's good. It's good to actually see it, what actually happens, and hear how it works. So no, that's good. And you give us some really good advice to anyone that does want to start. So I think that is it from my perspective. Have you got anything that you wanted to talk about that I haven't asked?
I just hope that everyone is going to be okay in this, especially in our construction industry through this period. I mean, we're heading into very uncharted territories with everything that's happening, with at a global level, because we're influenced so much, and we're all so connected nowadays. The world is so small, right? Someone sneezes in Africa, and then we feel the effect here. We catch a
Yeah,
cold in Australia,
yeah,
and you can see this with the price of oil. I mean, with the price of petrol and diesel.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
just hope we go through this period, and this craziness stops pretty sooner rather than later.
yeah, yeah, 100%, man. It's like it was already tough before, and now this is just
It
adding.
was, yeah.
It's,
We
yeah,
we had a shocking year last year. Everybody
yeah,
know for the first 9 months last year, felt
yeah,
the pinch really really bad. Then it started getting a lot better. I think everybody became a lot busier. October, November, December, and then into this year, it looked like it was going to be a great year
yeah.
until this madness started happening. In Middle East, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. So, yeah, like it wasn't already hard enough, and now this fuel crisis is just going to add to it. So hopefully it's over quick, and we see some light at the end of the tunnel. However, like you said a bit earlier, I've got a bad feeling that it's going to get a bit worse before it gets better. So I don't know. Let's see. Everyone has to hold on and see what happens. But that's why I'm doing those things. Like for our members, I'm going to be doing the Toolbox talk on Friday. We're going to talk about all your options and how to try and battle this fuel crisis and what things that we can do. So even small things like putting the revs down a little bit or stopping the machine in between tasks and stuff like that. It might have to be what happens. And then yeah, providing all like the members, for instance, with templates on what to give their customers when they increase their pricing a bit, because I think that's the only way we can do it. Everyone's going to have to start doing that. So
So
anyway,
one thing that I sorry, I forgot to ask. I think this would be good, very good for your listeners, and maybe this is some advice that I can get from you guys in terms of storing diesel. What options do we have if I want to buy 3,000 liters of diesel right now, because I know it's going to go to $10 a liter or
yeah,
whatever, or even be
I,
left out without, right?
yeah,
That's
I think so.
what options do we have?
You've got options where you can get like diesel tanks, like permanent storage ones set up at your facility, and then you can get like mini tankers and those sort of guys to come and fill it up for you in bulk. So you can get the mobile fuel guys to come out. So some people have done that, but I know they're also starting to put limitations on how much everyone can have, because they want to make sure
Oh
there's enough
wow.
for everyone. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. And some of the guys are posting today. I saw that they're getting dirty looks when they turn up to fill up their tanks on the back of their ute for their machines, and people are thinking they're just guys coming in to take fuel while it's cheap, but they're actually just doing it like regular, going in and filling up to go to work.
There
So
you
there was
go.
a couple.
Wow.
There was one guy this morning was saying that a lady started abusing him, saying you can't be taking that much diesel, and he said, "Well, I need it for my machine. I'm going to work." So, yeah, so she thought he's just there, some random guy taking diesel. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because they're going to start putting restrictions. My feeling is they're going to start putting restrictions and doing like certain things to say that certain maybe number plates or certain addresses can go certain days. I don't know. There's going to be something like that, but. Yeah, for someone like that has a business that might need a lot of diesel, you can probably get those large tanks and hold them on site. I think you can actually rent the tanks. You might not have to buy it. So that might
If
be,
anyone has
you
any
know,
contacts or anything like that, hit me up. I'd love to hear it.
yeah, that's it, man. That's it. And then the hard thing is, yeah, we don't want to be all, like the toilet paper. Everyone's just bought all the diesel and then there's nothing left. So we've got to be careful to
No,
spare it out, you know?
of
Mm.
course, no, I get it, but yeah, at the same time, you gotta, I guess you gotta try to continue, one form
Yeah.
or another.
It's true. That is true. Yeah. So that I think the other thing is that everyone's going to have to put their prices up, because you can't keep operating. It's already if we speak about hourly rates, we've had those conversations a lot. It's already tough as it is. Trying the rates now are similar to years ago, but everything else has gone up. Now diesel's gone up even more. I'm sure it's probably double to what it used to be, and it's just not gonna. People aren't gonna make money, man. So we did
Yeah.
some in the business workshop recently. We did some hourly rate calculations, and people were working out what the hourly rate should be, and there was already some eye openers. So imagine now with the diesel gone up again. So that's another thing. So It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah, there you go. So if anyone can help, if anyone knows where to get these large diesel tanks for storage, please hit up TerraQuip to send in that information. There you go. All
All right.
right.
Thank you so much, guys.
No worries, man. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, everyone got a lot out of that. And this will be posted up on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple very shortly, actually. Before we go, Mike, thank you very much again. I just want to make sure everyone knows to follow Earthworks Hub on all platforms. So all the social medias, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Go to the website. On the website, you'll see a whole range of stuff now. We were just talking about website before. You'll find everything on there, including TerraQuip now, or after today, tomorrow. Make sure that you're sharing this podcast to everyone so that everyone can join in. If you want to be a guest, hit me up. If you know someone that would be a good guest, also send me a recommendation. What else? That's it. Yeah, go to the website for any information. Mike, anything from yourself before we go?
I'll see you guys at the diesel turf. We're exposing there as well.
Oh, you're going to be there?
We're gonna have a piling machine there to demo.
There you go, man. Well, I've got a stand as well, so I'll be there. Definitely. Be good. Be good to see you, man.
We'll catch up for a beer.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. All right, that's good. All right, to everyone, thank you once again for joining us. And Mike, once again, thank you to you as well.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. We'll see you all on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
became steel resistant.